Ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason you woke up today. There is a reason you were born in this generation, in this era, with the gifts you carry. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice, commitment, and courage. Your destiny is waiting, don't delay. Let me share with you 8 powerful principles to help you unlock and pursue the destiny written into your soul. You are not an accident. You are not a random event. You are not here just to exist, pay bills, or survive the system. No, you were born with purpose, planted into time as a solution, not a mistake. Before the foundation of the world, your life was designed with intention, precision, and meaning. You were created to fulfill a specific assignment that no one else can carry out exactly the way you can. That's not arrogance, that's truth. Your very existence is evidence that something needed to be done on earth that required your arrival. Purpose is the original intent of a thing, and if purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. That is why so many lives today feel lost, not because they are incapable, but because they are disconnected from their purpose. It's not about being talented or busy. It's about being aligned. You can climb the ladder of success only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall. What tragedy it would be to live a full life and never live a fulfilled one. You were not born to copy someone else. I want to be very clear here. Imitation is limitation. If you live your life trying to be someone else, the world will miss the gift you were designed to be. Purpose is personal. It's tailor-made. There is something buried deep within you, a dream, a vision, a passion that calls to you in the quiet. That's not your imagination. That's destiny whispering. You must understand that purpose is not something you invent, it's something you discover. You don't need to manufacture it because it already exists within you. It was woven into your DNA before you ever took your first breath. The problem is, too many people look outside for what they must discover inside. You don't find your purpose in applause, trends, or opinions. You find it in the stillness. You find it when you stop chasing everyone else's dreams and start listening to the deep pull of your own soul. Your purpose is not always loud. It doesn't scream, it doesn't compete. It waits. It waits for you to slow down, to seek, to be honest enough to ask the hard questions. Why am I here? What was I born to do? What burns inside me that will not go away? Purpose is persistent. If you ignore it, it will haunt you. If you delay it, it will disturb you. And if you run from it, life will never fully make sense. Everything in creation has a purpose. The sun was made to shine. The seed was made to grow. The eagle was made to soar, and you were made to impact. There is nothing random about you. Even your pain, your past, your failures, they all serve your purpose. Nothing is wasted in the hands of a creator who designed you for a reason. What hurt you may actually qualify you. What broke you may become the very testimony that breathes hope into others. Your history does not disqualify your destiny, it shapes it. Purpose is the compass of your life. Without it you wander, with it you walk with clarity, courage, and conviction. When you know your purpose, you stop asking for permission to be who you are. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces you've outgrown. You stop begging others to believe in you because you start believing in yourself. Purpose doesn't make you arrogant, it makes you secure. It anchors you when the storms of life come. It focuses you when distractions surround you. It fuels you when opposition tries to wear you down. You were born with purpose, not when you got a degree, not when you got a job, not when people finally recognized your value. You were born with purpose the moment you came into existence, and every day you wake up, it is a reminder that your assignment is still in progress. That means you are not done yet. You may have messed up. You may have started late. You may feel unworthy, but your purpose is still intact. Purpose does not expire, but it does require your participation. And so the question is not, do I have a purpose? The real question is, will I pursue it? Will I answer the call? Will I dig deeper than comfort, stretch beyond fear, and chase the very reason I was born? Because once you know you were born with purpose, you can no longer live casually. Once you understand that your life is not your own, that it belongs to the one who gave it, you begin to live with accountability. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, decide differently. You no longer waste your potential on pleasing people, fitting in, or staying safe. You rise, you build, you create, you serve, you impact. You were born with purpose. It's time to stop running from it. It's time to stop delaying it. It's time to own it, because your destiny is waiting and your time is now. Vision is not a daydream. It is the invisible architecture of your destiny. Sight deals with what is. Vision deals with what can be. It is the inner movie that plays long before the credits of accomplishment roll. Everyone who ever left footprints in history first saw paths in mystery. In the quiet chambers of the mind, blueprints are drawn, details negotiated, deadlines whispered. Long before a hospital wing bears someone's name or a book sits in a reader's hands, vision has been arguing against limitations and insisting there is more. Sight is the function of the eyes, but vision is the function of the heart. Sight reports facts, vision declares truth. Sight measures the height of giants, vision measures the size of promise. Sight stops at obstacles, vision converts obstacles into material. When you live only by sight, you react to circumstances, but when you live by vision, you command circumstances to cooperate. Vision refuses to allow the external to imprison the internal. It digs beneath what is visible and pulls destiny from the soil of possibility. You have felt that tug, the unexplainable certainty that something bigger than your current environment is calling you forward. That tug is vision. It will not shout over your distractions. It will wait until you are still enough to hear it. Unlike trends, vision is immortal. It will outlive seasons, economies, and critics. The world may change its fashions, but vision stays timeless because it originates outside of time. This is why you can never fully silence it with busyness or bury it under bills. It resurfaces whenever you dare to dream sincerely. Vision is specific. It knows the difference between vague ambition and precise intention. Ask it shallow questions and it will give you silence. Ask it deep questions and it will flood you with images, strategies, and purpose. The clearer the picture, the stronger the pull. Clarity breeds momentum. Ambiguity breeds hesitation. Many people confuse motion with progress and activity with productivity because they have movement without map. Vision hands you the map. It does not always show every road, but it outlines the destination so forcefully that you are willing to pioneer the roads yourself. Imagination is the workshop of vision. When you close your eyes to the world, you can open them to the future. Imagination employs faith as its project manager. Faith then hires discipline, patience, and tenacity as foremen. Together they convert mental sketches into concrete realities. Vision cannot be subcontracted to convenience. It requires your personal investment. The distance between where you stand and what you see is called work. Work may sweat your brow, but vision will keep your heart burning. If the fire inside you is stronger than the heat around you, nothing can stop construction. Write the vision. Words imprison wind. Ink gives shape to breathe. When you document your dream, you convert it from vapor to vessel. Written vision anchors wandering emotions. It survives forgetfulness and fights discouragement. When doubt shouts, you can hold up the page and remember why you began. Writing also invites accountability. A written vision can be reviewed, measured, and celebrated. It tells time to respect your purpose and tells distraction to move aside. What you document, you dominate. Surround the vision with the right environment. Seeds need soil, visions need atmosphere. Conversation is climate. Spend long enough around people who belittle dreams and the air becomes toxic. Spend time with those who speak possibility and the oxygen thickens with hope. Protect the vision from small-mindedness the way an architect protects blueprints from rain. Share it selectively. A premature reveal can invite unnecessary ridicule, but the right reveal can attract essential collaborators. Vision grows best in the greenhouse of faith and is transported safely in the vehicle of wisdom. Expect opposition. Darkness resents light because light exposes potential. Every giant in your promised land is proof that the land is valuable. Critics, delays, and failures are not signs that the vision is false. They are signs that the vision is alive. Diamonds invite pressure. Gold welcomes fire. Vision anticipates resistance. Let setbacks adjust your strategy, not your sight. Storms may alter your route, but they do not alter your destination. Resilience is the insurance policy of vision. Refuse to forfeit what you have already seen simply because you have not yet touched it. Act now. Vision without movement is a museum exhibit, beautiful to look at, powerless to change lives. The gap between dreamers and achievers is execution. Begin before you have every answer. Progress reveals what planning sometimes hides. One step clarifies the next. Perfectionist procrastination is the enemy of creative manifestation. Every day you delay, the marketplace of purpose loses the product only you can provide. Someone's solution is locked inside your obedience. Do not let the clock outtalk the compass. Your future is too important to be outsourced to hesitation. Destiny is leaning over the balcony of eternity, waiting to applaud the moment you decide that what you see is worth everything you must do. Time is not just passing, it is speaking. Every second is a messenger whispering a question that echoes in the hearts of those who dare to dream. What are you doing with me? You see, time is the currency of destiny. Unlike money, you cannot earn more of it, you cannot borrow it, and you cannot store it. Once a moment is gone, it cannot be retrieved. The clock does not pause for your fear, your confusion, or your indecision. It moves forward, with or without your permission. The most dangerous thing about time is the illusion that you have plenty of it. That lie has robbed more people of purpose than failure ever could. People wait for perfect conditions, the right season, more resources, better connections. Unaware that the greatest wealth they already possess is the moment they are standing in right now. The future is created in the decisions you make today, not tomorrow. Procrastination is not a passive act, it is an active thief. Every time you delay obedience to your purpose, you empower distraction to take its place. Time is always moving, but purpose is not always pursued. Many confuse being busy with being effective, but time doesn't reward busyness. It rewards intentionality. You can be busy building someone else's dream, fulfilling someone else's agenda, running errands for a version of yourself you've already outgrown. If you don't take ownership of your time, someone else will, and they will spend it on things that have nothing to do with your calling. Time is a test. It proves what you value. Where your time goes, your heart has already arrived. That is why the wise do not merely manage time. They master it, they assign it, they steward it. They recognize that each day is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. Wasted time is often the result of wasted focus. The enemy of purpose doesn't have to destroy you. He only has to distract you long enough for your days to expire and your dreams to wither. You have to stop waiting for the stars to align. Life is not waiting to be perfect before you move forward. The myth of readiness is the graveyard of vision. You think you need more training, start with what you know. You think you need more support, begin with who believes. You think you need more resources. Use what's in your hand. The moment you stop making time an excuse and start treating it like the resource it is, everything shifts. You don't get more hours in a day, but you can get more purpose out of each hour. There is a reason every human, rich or poor, powerful or unknown, is given the same amount of time each day. Destiny is democratic in its raw material. It gives everyone time. What you do with yours reveals what you believe about yourself. If you think your life has no value, you'll let your time be consumed by entertainment, comfort, and comfort zones. But if you believe you were born for something greater, you'll treat every hour like an investment in eternity. Do not say you don't have time. Say instead, it is not my priority. That one shift in language will expose whether you are living on purpose or not. Because the truth is, we all make time for what we truly believe matters. You may not have time to waste, but you always have time to begin. Destiny does not wait for convenience. It responds to commitment. When you begin to align your time with your purpose, you become dangerous to everything that once held you back. And understand this, time is seasonal. What you can do in one season, you may not be able to do in the next. Opportunities expire, connections change, health fades, energy shifts. That's not to create fear, it's to awaken urgency. Delaying your obedience can cost you more than you can afford. There are doors that only open at certain moments. If you miss that moment, the door may not be locked forever, but it may never open the same way again. Live like your time matters. Get up earlier, stay focused longer, shut off distractions. Say no to things that do not align with your calling. Say yes to things that grow your capacity. You cannot stretch your time, but you can stretch your effectiveness. Purpose requires sacrifice. The price is high, but the reward is higher. You were not placed on this earth to run out the clock. You were born to make the time you've been given count. So take a hard look at your days. Your schedule is not just a planner, it is a prophecy. It tells you exactly what you're becoming. If your time is scattered, your destiny will be delayed. But if your time is focused, your destiny will accelerate. You do not need more time to become who you are meant to be. You simply need to treat the time you have like it matters. There is something in you that the world needs. It is not your job title, your personality, or your social status. It is your gift. Your gift is the invisible treasure that came wrapped inside you the moment you were born. It is the part of you that carries uniqueness and unlocks influence. It's not a skill you picked up. It is a piece of eternity that was planted in you on purpose, for a purpose. And until you discover it, develop it, and deploy it, you will always feel slightly off course, no matter how much success you gather. Your gift is not something you were taught. It's something you were trusted with. It is the natural ability that comes alive when you do it. It flows without force. Others may admire it, struggle to replicate it, or ask how you do it so well, but to you it feels effortless. That's how you know it's a gift, because it doesn't feel like labor, it feels like breathing. When you tap into it, time flies. When you ignore it, life feels dull, frustrating, and restless. The world celebrates your performance, but your soul only finds peace in purpose, and your purpose is always connected to your gift. The tragedy is that so many people die with their gifts unopened. They live under the pressure to conform, the fear of failure, or the hunger for approval. So instead of living from their gift, they live from their wounds. They hide what makes them different and play safe with what makes them common. But the world is not changed by those who conform. It is changed by those who contribute. And your greatest contribution will always come through your gift. You don't have to look far to find your gift. It's been there the whole time, often showing up in your childhood before the world taught you what was practical. It's the thing that made you curious, the thing you do for free, the thing that made you come alive. Over time, responsibilities, disappointments, and distractions may have buried it, but it never left. It may be dormant, but it is not dead. Gifts don't expire, but they do require you to dig again, to return to the part of you that was never about performance, but about purpose. And make no mistake, your gift is not for you. It was placed in you, but it was meant for others. A tree does not eat its own fruit. Your gift is meant to serve the world, solve a problem, fill a gap, bring healing, bring light. If you bury your gift, you rob the world of the solution you carry. Somewhere, someone is praying for the answer you're carrying inside of you. Your courage to use your gift could be the reason they find hope. You may never meet them. You may never hear the impact. But obedience is not measured by applause, it's measured by alignment. Developing your gift is not optional. Raw talent can get attention, but refined gifting brings transformation. The difference between the amateur and the master is not gifting, it's discipline. You must be willing to study, stretch, practice, fail, and rise again. Don't let the ease of your gift fool you into casualness. Excellence honors the one who gave the gift. When you steward your gift with humility and diligence, you not only grow it, you multiply it. It begins to open doors, make room for you, and bring you before great opportunities. The gift will attract opportunity, but it is your character that will keep you there. So as you develop the gift, don't forget to develop the vessel, because nothing sabotages a rising gift like a weak foundation. People will celebrate your gifting, but it's your inner life that will sustain the journey. Protect it, feed it, strengthen it, because the more your gift grows, the more pressure it will carry. You were made for it, but you must be built for it. Don't wait until everything is perfect to begin using your gift. You grow it by using it. Every time you share it, speak it, write it, build with it, serve through it, it sharpens. You don't need a stage to use your gift. You don't need followers, fans, or funding. You just need faithfulness. If you're gifted to teach, start teaching. If you're gifted to lead, start leading. If you're gifted to write, pick up the pen. The moment you start using your gift, you create a ripple effect that stretches far beyond what you can see. No one can take your gift. Others may imitate it, compete with it, or doubt it, but they cannot duplicate it. It was given to you, and it will work for you if you work it. You may feel small now, you may feel unnoticed, but your gift will make room for you. It will carve out space where there was none before. It will place you in environments you never imagined, not because of who you know, but because of what you carry. But that future is unlocked only through activation. You don't need to chase significance. You only need to serve faithfully through your gift, and significance will follow, because people don't remember those who followed trends. They remember those who used their gift to transform something. You are not here to blend in. You are here to stand up and pour out what you were born with. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Excuses are the native tongue of the unfocused, the subtle dialect that allows potential to remain unexpressed while pretending to be prudent. They march through the mind clothed in logic, sounding responsible and protective, yet every syllable they utter persuades destiny to keep its distance. Each excuse is a convenient story invented to maintain comfort and avoid the tension of transformation. Comfort is persuasive, but comfort is a short-term shelter that eventually turns into a long-term prison, and the rent is paid with purpose. Excuses often begin as small, almost harmless phrases. Too tired to study, too busy to plan, too late to start. Left unchallenged, they mature into sophisticated arguments dressed in adult vocabulary. The economy is volatile, the market is crowded, the timing is wrong, the people won't support me, the resources are scarce. The great irony is that every innovator, reformer, and pioneer in history faced the same volatility, the same crowded conditions, the same skeptical people, yet still advanced. The dividing line between history makers and history watchers is not circumstance. It is the presence or absence of excuses. An excuse is a loyal bodyguard for the status quo. It promises to keep you from criticism, embarrassment, and risk. But the same shield that blocks adversity also blocks advancement. Behind excuses you can see possibilities through the glass, but you cannot touch them. You become a spectator of your own potential, applauding those who dared while quietly explaining to yourself why you could not. Over time, the walls thicken, the glass clouds, and the story you told becomes the cell you occupy. Unmask an excuse, and fear is nearly always beneath it. Fear of inadequacy, rejection, uncertainty, or responsibility. Fear is an advisor, not an authority. Listen for information, but do not surrender control. If courage were the absence of fear, the brave would be mythical creatures. Courage is action in spite of fear. Excuses solicit signatures from fear to legitimize inaction, tear up the contract. Opportunity seldom arrives with trumpets. More often it knocks disguised as hard work, an extra phone call, a late night idea, an early morning discipline. Excuses call the door locked and walk away. Persistence tests the handle and discovers it was open the whole time. Many spend years praying for open doors, while excuses keep them from turning available knobs. Comparison is fertile soil for excuses. You scroll through highlights, estimate someone else's head start, and decide the race is unwinnable. Yet comparison is built on partial information. You see results but not repetitions, applause but not anonymity, product but not process. Excuses feed on that illusion, convincing you to retreat before you engage. The only race you must win is against yesterday's version of you. The lane is clear when you look forward instead of sideways. Language shapes reality, and excuses have a predictable vocabulary. I can't, I don't, I'm not, maybe later. Each phrase erects a ceiling. Replace them with I can learn, I do have, I am becoming, I will. Words are architects. Choose ones that design bridges, not cages. Willpower alone is unreliable, so build systems that starve excuses. Lay out workout clothes at night to silence dawn fatigue. Block focused hours on your calendar so interruptions cannot hijack them. Break intimidating goals into daily disciplines so overwhelm loses leverage. Excuses flourish in isolation but suffocate in accountable community. Announce your commitments to people who expect progress. Their questions tomorrow will crush today's temptations. Remember that every excuse hides a belief that you are powerless. Reverse the belief and the excuse loses oxygen. Say instead, I am resourceful. I cannot control everything, but I can control something, and something is where momentum begins. Small obedience compounds. One page each day becomes a book. One genuine connection each day becomes a network. One disciplined deposit each day becomes financial freedom. Consistency is the assassin of excuses. Do not make motivation a prerequisite for movement. Make movement the generator of motivation. Emotion often follows motion. Start with 5 minutes, then 10. Action gathers data. Contemplation gathers dust. Let data guide improvement. Excuses sound convincing in the present, but age poorly. One day they will stand in the courtroom of memory as witnesses for regret. Regret is simply an excuse that survived long enough to tell its story. Decide that your story will be different. When opportunity speaks, excuses will not answer. Your legacy is measured by impact, not rationalizations. The moment you silence an excuse, space appears for creativity, strategy, and unexpected partnerships. Life starts to conspire with determination. Resources reveal themselves, mentors appear, ideas refine, stamina multiplies. You discover that the universe was never withholding, it was only waiting for your signal of seriousness. Cancel the subscription to excuses and watch provision subscribe to you. Faith is not just a religious term, it's a principle of movement. It is the inner conviction that what you do not yet see can still be real if you act like it's already possible. Faith is the currency of destiny. Without it, dreams remain abstract, locked in the realm of imagination. With it, ordinary people do extraordinary things. Faith doesn't wait for proof to proceed. It creates the proof by stepping into what others are afraid to try. It's not blind optimism, it's focused obedience. It sees beyond the current limitations, believing that purpose is stronger than obstacles. When you're moving toward destiny, you won't have all the answers. You won't feel ready. In fact, you might feel completely underqualified. But faith says, I will move anyway. It doesn't ignore facts. It simply believes the facts are not the final word. Destiny always requires a step that makes no sense to those who live by fear. That's why faith is the difference maker. It's what bridges the gap between where you are and where you're called to be. If you're waiting to feel certain before you start, you'll never begin. Destiny demands movement in uncertainty. If you know everything before you begin, it's not faith, it's calculation, and calculation can only take you as far as your natural capacity. Faith, however, allows you to enter into the supernatural possibilities of what you were born to do. Great accomplishments rarely start with clarity. They start with courage. Courage to believe when others laugh, to start when others stall, to press when others pause. Faith requires you to speak the language of your future even when your present doesn't understand it. Faith does not mean you won't feel fear. It means you act in spite of fear. Fear may ride in the car, but faith takes the wheel. Every person called to greatness must walk through the valley of questions, doubts, and inner resistance. But faith doesn't need certainty to obey. It just needs a word, a vision, a conviction, and when you act on it, the path appears. Some things only unlock after you move. There are doors that don't open until you stand in front of them and try the handle. Faith is not just about believing in what is possible. It's about believing in who you are. You must believe that the vision you carry is not an accident, that the gift you possess is not a coincidence, that the dream burning in you is not just your imagination, it's your instruction. Faith is alignment. It's when your actions begin to agree with your assignment. It's not passive, it's powerful. It's movement with conviction, even when conditions aren't ideal. Many people confuse faith with waiting, but faith is not sitting still, it's preparing while you wait. It's building even when no one sees. It's writing the vision, sharpening the skill, taking the class, making the call, sowing the seed. If you truly believe it's coming, you'll get ready for it. And if you're not preparing, maybe you're not believing, because faith builds, it acts. It organizes its life around what it expects to happen. Sometimes faith looks foolish, and that's exactly how you know it's real. Noah looked foolish building an ark with no rain in sight. Sarah looked foolish believing she'd bear a child in old age. David looked foolish running toward a giant with just a sling. But what seems foolish to fear looks like obedience to faith. The difference between failure and breakthrough is often the willingness to look foolish before the miracle comes. You cannot live by faith and be addicted to the approval of people. Choose your audience. Choose obedience. Faith is also tested, and not just in crisis, but in silence. There will be seasons where nothing looks like it's working, where your progress is invisible, your prayers feel unanswered, and your efforts seem ignored. These moments are not the absence of movement, they are the forging of maturity. Faith that's never tested is shallow, but tested faith produces endurance, clarity, and spiritual authority. You come out stronger, sharper, and more focused. To live by faith means to live by a different timeline. You understand that delay does not mean denial, that slow progress is still progress, that unseen results are not unimportant. You stop comparing your timeline to others because you realize you're not running their race. Faith keeps you anchored when the pace doesn't match your plans. It gives you patience without passivity. It teaches you that preparation is a part of the promise. Eventually, faith produces evidence. What you once believed begins to manifest. The vision you held in your heart becomes visible to others, and they'll call it luck or talent, but you'll know it was faith. The unseen belief, the quiet obedience, the daily persistence, the inner resolve. Faith is not flashy, it's not always loud, but it's always effective. It moves mountains not because it's big, but because it's real. So when doubt whispers that you're unqualified, stand in faith. When fear says it's too late, move in faith. When delay makes you question if it's still worth it, build in faith. Because destiny is not waiting for the most talented, the most educated, or the most connected. It is waiting for those who will believe enough to begin. Faith is the engine of purpose. Without it, dreams drift. With it, even the impossible starts to look like a plan in progress. Somewhere, right now, a need is looking for a name. A question is searching for an answer. A wound is yearning for a healer. And all of them are whispering your name even if you have not yet learned to respond. You were not placed on this earth as a spectator. You arrived as a solution in seed form. The challenges that disturb you the most are not random irritations. They are clues to your assignment. A burden often reveals a blueprint. When something breaks your heart or ignites your anger at injustice, pay attention. Buried in that emotion is often the map to your mission. You are a carrier of answers disguised as ordinary talents and experiences, and the world has been calibrated to reveal the gap that only your obedience can fill. Ignoring that gap may feel safe for a season, but safety is a seductive version of stagnation, and stagnation is silent sabotage. Problems are invitations. They knock on the doors of the prepared and the unprepared alike. But they only move in with those who will host them long enough to convert them into progress and possibility. Every advancement of civilization, every cure, every invention, every piece of art that shifted culture, was born when someone looked at a problem and refused to shift their gaze. Most people encounter difficulty and calculate distance. Pioneers encounter difficulty and calculate design. They dissect it, interrogate it, and refuse to let it remain in its current form. They treat frustration as raw material, not final reality. You have that same capacity, though it may lie dormant beneath layers of doubt or decades of routine. Dormancy is not death, it is potential waiting for intention. Do not underestimate the value of your perspective. Two people can see the same need and interpret it differently because destiny hands out custom lenses. What looks minor to someone else might pulse in your chest like a drum because you, precisely you, carry the ingredient missing from the solution. Your background, your upbringing, even your failures have mixed a cocktail of insights unique to your life. Nothing you have endured is wasted. Every scar is a reference point, every triumph a tool, every disappointment a data point. Taken together, they form a toolkit that equips you to solve a particular set of problems better than anyone else on the planet. It is not arrogance to admit that, it is stewardship to acknowledge it. Being the answer does not always mean you must become public or famous. Many solutions work quietly, transforming a family, a classroom, or a local community long before they ever trend on a screen. The size of your audience does not determine the size of your impact. Some of the most pivotal breakthroughs in history emerged from back rooms and basements, tucked away where the spotlight could not blind the process. Your responsibility is to be faithful to the sphere you have now, trusting that alignment will expand influence when the time is ripe. Seeds do not compete with forests, they become them, but only after they are buried, broken, and rooted. To operate as a solution, you must cultivate sensitivity to needs. Train your eyes to notice patterns of pain and inefficiency. Ask better questions. Why does this keep happening? Who benefits from solving it? What resources are underutilized? Solutions hide in the vicinity of curiosity. The more curious you become, the more invisible doors appear, and when curiosity meets courage, doors become hallways. You do not need all the light, you just need enough to take the next step. As you step, revelation multiplies, movement magnetizes insight, but solutions require more than perception. They demand preparation. Raw passion without skill can create as many problems as it resolves. Hone your craft, study the terrain, learn the language of the field you are called to influence. A surgeon with compassion but no competence is a liability, not a savior. Excellence gives your solution credibility. It silences the critics who question your right to speak and amplifies the gratitude of those your work rescues. Preparation is private proof that you respect the public platform your answer may someday gain. Resistance will arise the moment you commit to solving something significant. Problems fight back. They prefer to persist. Systems develop antibodies against change agents, and pessimists protect the status quo like cherished heritage. Expect opposition not as a sign of misdirection, but as confirmation of importance. The size of the resistance often mirrors the significance of the result. Resolve that you will not be dissuaded by delays, detours, or dismissals. Solutions are stubborn guests. They stay only with hosts who persevere. Remember that collaboration accelerates solution. No single person embodies the totality of an answer. You may carry the spark, but others carry the lumber, the nails, the blueprint revisions. Pride isolates, purpose integrates. Seek partners whose strengths complement your gaps. Celebrate diversity of thought, age, and background. The mosaic of many minds often yields sharper clarity than the monochrome of a lone genius. When collective genius converges around a shared problem, miracles masquerade as normal progress. Finally, shift your self-talk. Stop asking, can I really make a difference? And start declaring, how will I deploy the difference already in me? Questions shape focus. Declarations shape identity. Identity fuels action, and action repeated faithfully transforms reality. You are the solution to a problem, maybe one, maybe many. Creation is groaning for your manifestation, not tomorrow, not when you feel qualified, but now in real time. The gap is widening, and silence is complicity. Open your mouth, move your hands, engage your mind, align your heart. The clock is ticking on need, and destiny has written your name in the margin next to the answer. Time is the most democratic resource on earth, 24 hours for the king and the servant. the scholar and the wanderer, the visionary and the aimless. Yet how we treat time becomes the clearest measure of whether we understand destiny. Destiny is allergic to delay. It recoils from procrastination, shrinks under hesitation, and disappears into the fog of distraction. Destiny demands urgency, not in frantic busyness, but in focused obedience. Not in anxiety, but in alignment. You are not waiting on destiny. It is waiting on you to stop waiting. The tragedy of time misused is not just missed opportunities. It's missed identity. Every hour spent scrolling past meaning, every day spent postponing purpose, every year spent in cycles of passivity is not just lost productivity, it's lost selfhood. Time doesn't just pass, it shapes. It chisels you with or without your consent, and if you're not using time to build the person you were born to become, time will still mold you, but into someone smaller than you were meant to be. There is a lie that seduces many, I'll do it later. But later is a myth wrapped in comfort. Later feels safe, like a cushion between pressure and performance, but later is often never. Later is where potential goes to rot. The graveyard is full of those who had more time in their heads but ran out of it in reality. Destiny does not yield to comfort, it responds to commitment. If you delay too long, what you were born to do can become what someone else is assigned to finish. Because needs persist, even if people don't respond. God, life, purpose, whatever you call the divine assignment, will move to the willing if the chosen stay in waiting. Procrastination is not just a time issue, it's a trust issue. You delay because you think you'll have tomorrow. You assume conditions will improve, you believe inspiration will strike, but destiny doesn't respond to assumptions. It moves when you do. There is no perfect moment, there is only this one, this breath. This opportunity. Perfectionism is just fear dressed in excellence. It says, I'm waiting to get it right, but means I'm afraid to fail. Destiny doesn't require you to be perfect. It requires you to be present. So ask yourself, what are you delaying that you were born to deliver? What vision have you buried beneath excuses, busyness, or self-doubt? What book remains unwritten? What business unlaunched? What idea unspoken? Time is not forgiving. It does not return what you waste, and every delay today becomes regret tomorrow. But here's the mercy. While time cannot be recovered, purpose can still be redeemed. You don't need more time. You need more clarity and more courage. Clarity comes when you eliminate distractions. Destiny does not compete with entertainment. It waits quietly behind closed doors while your attention is hijacked by trivial things. You must learn to audit your time. What you focus on multiplies. Feed distraction and you get drift. Feed vision and you get momentum. Time is a seed. How you spend it determines what you harvest. Minutes may feel small, but when compounded with intention, they yield transformation. Courage comes when you stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. No one feels prepared for greatness. Everyone doubts. Everyone wonders. Everyone stumbles. But the difference between those who finish and those who fantasize is that the finishers began anyway. Destiny honors motion. It meets you on the path, not the couch. The more you move, the more you see. The more you act, the more you attract what you need. Destiny is not static. It's dynamic. It opens in layers, doors behind doors, answers inside actions. Another lie we tell ourselves is that delay is neutral, that it affects only us. But your purpose is not personal, it's communal. Someone is waiting on the thing you were called to create. Someone's deliverance is tied to your discipline. When you delay, you don't just rob yourself, you rob them. A delayed purpose becomes a denied provision for someone else. Purpose is generational. It echoes beyond your name. It writes history in other people's lives. There is a life on the other side of your yes, but that life cannot live unless you move. Understand this. Discipline does not mean perfection. It means consistency in direction. If you fall, get back up. If you drift, realign. The key is not in never missing a day, but in refusing to quit. Time respects perseverance. It bends toward those who show up daily, even imperfectly. One step taken repeatedly becomes a path. 1 hour of focus daily becomes mastery. Do not be deceived by the slow pace. Destiny is built in layers, not leaps. The bricklayer who returns every day builds the castle. The dreamer who waits for the mood builds nothing at all. So today, this hour, this moment, is sacred, because this is the only place where destiny is alive. The past is gone, the future is unguaranteed, but the present is in your hands, trembling, waiting, breathing. It is not too late, it is not too early. It is exactly the right time to move. Delay is a thief, but obedience is a multiplier. Time may be slipping, but it still responds to the one who moves with purpose. Do not delay. Destiny is not standing still, and neither should you. So I leave you with this truth. Your destiny is not a distant dream. It's a present demand. It is not passively waiting for the stars to align or for life to hand you permission. Destiny responds to the bold, the ready, the obedient. It favors those who dare to act even when fear whispers louder than confidence. The clock is not your enemy. It is your reminder, a reminder that time is sacred and your life has an expiration date. You were born for something specific, something eternal, something urgent. Someone's freedom, breakthrough, healing, or inspiration is locked inside your obedience. Don't let fear delay what faith is ready to fulfill. Don't let distractions bury what discipline could build, and don't die full of what you were meant to deliver. Move now, build now, speak now, write now, start now. Your destiny is waiting. Don't delay.